good way to learn new skills exponentially faster and faster with every new skill that you learn. Essentially, it all starts with just mastering one skill. So it doesn't matter what the skill is, but you have to put in the 10,000 hours or however many hours it takes to get to a level of mastery, which in my definition of mastery is you have an intuition about whatever it is. You know, if you master algebra, for instance, you can look at an algebraic equation and have an intuition about what the output's going to be. You know, it's like you don't, maybe you see the answer right off the bat, you know, but you kind of know where it's going to go. With music, it's the same thing. So if you get to a certain level of mastery, you don't have to read the sheet music or necessarily have to even practice a song that you've never heard before. If you've put in enough reps, you have basically learned these patterns that become apparent when you hear or see a song. So it can blow certain people away that haven't mastered it. So if you come up to this group and they want you to play this song with them and you just jump right in and play it perfectly without ever hearing it before because of your intuition about where it's going to go and how you know it's going to go based on your time and effort put into that skill, that's a level of mastery. Once you've done that with one thing, it translates to basically any other skill. So if we stick with the music example, say you just completely master a style of guitar, bluegrass guitar, you're one of the top 1% in the world at playing bluegrass guitar. If you go to a completely different realm, say you want to be a copywriter at your job, or you want to start freelance copywriting, because you've mastered the skill of guitar, you can master copywriting so much easier. And it's not because necessarily any of the skills that contribute to being really good at guitar contribute to being a copywriter. No, it just means that you know what the path is. You've walked the path to go from zero at the beginner state to absolute mastery at the end. And that's what it takes to do anything well. So you know how to become a master copywriter because you've become a master of something else. You've went through the troughs of despair and made it through to the other side. You've put in the reps. You know precisely how much time and effort it's going to take to be really good at something. And in addition to knowing what it's going to take, you also have the added confidence of saying, hey, I've done this before. I've made it through. I have this confidence in myself that, hey, I can do this. And it just makes it's still tough. Like, I won't say it's easy, but it's easier because you know what it takes. You have the confidence to know that you can make it through to the end. And then that just really gives you the extra oomph that you need to get over the finish line, get to the level of mastery that you need to get to. And you see it all the time. Like, there's people that aren't necessarily successful in any realm of life, and they just, anything they try to do, you can just tell they've never mastered any one thing. And so maybe they just have a glancing familiarity with a lot of different things, but they've just never put in the work to go deep enough to get good at any one thing. And so they think they've achieved mastery when really they haven't in anything. Maybe they've just got lucky a few times. Think of your cousin that says they can play guitar, they pick it up and don't even know two chords, but they just have this confidence, and then they also aren't good at anything else in life. So once you've mastered one thing, odds are you're going to master something else, unless you don't need to. But odds are that you know how to master something else, and if given the ambition and the intention, you can do it with something else. So, I would, if you hear me talking about this stuff and you're like, I've never mastered anything in my life, just pick one thing and just stick with it. Like, it doesn't matter. It can be web design, it can be songwriting, it can be doing concrete work. You just pick one thing, stick with it long enough to get really good at it, become undeniably good at it, and just going to translate